Hi everybody. Okay. So I've talked about Amy Winehouse before, but I also warned you guys a while ago that whenever I saw the film Back to Black made this year, I was going to do a video on it. So here it is. Now to warn you, I'm going to talk about the song and the film kind of interchangeably, and it'll make sense once I get going. Okay. So let me start out with the basics first. Amy Winehouse is a tragic story because her backstory is kind of tragic, and what happened is tragic, obviously, but also because when someone dies so young, it's always heartbreaking and kind of sad at the same time because you wonder what they could have done with the rest of their life. And at 27, you don't know how long you have to live. So I have to put that first, okay? And also, um, something I just found out like yesterday, which I was not aware of. Um, so this might be a little sensitive, so I'm not trying to hurt anyone's feelings, okay? I'm not trying to do anything wrong. I'm not trying to do anything like that. But when someone suffers from alcoholism, the thing I just found out is that say you drank alcohol your whole life before even 21. Okay, just say. So your body develops a tolerance for how much alcohol it can handle and how much it takes to get you intoxicated, right? Okay, so have, say you want to have sobriety. So you're sober for a while. The longer you're sober, your tolerance for alcohol gets less and less. So what happens is if you drink again after that, because of the lower tolerance, you can pass away from alcohol poisoning faster than someone else would. Those are the bare facts. I'm not trying to do anything. I'm just saying. Okay. All right. Um. Okay. So to get into her story, um, well, I think a lot of people know that she saw herself as a Diana Washington or a new coming of Lauryn Hill. So her and kind of the Stranger Laws and Blake Fielder Silva is going to come into this too. All right, because when I watched the movie today, they met at a pub. It's called a pub in England, London. We would call it here in America a bar, but same difference. Okay, so they're talking and they're getting along really well. And at the end of the date or whatever, which it wasn't a date because it turns out he has another girlfriend in the film. Okay, before they met, like the day he met, he still had his girlfriend. Okay, so at the end of the date, he says, "You've never heard of the Shangri-La's? This was a girl group in the 60s. I didn't know about the Shangri-La's either, but I do know that one song that goes, Did you fall for him? Did he fall for you? No, I fell for the leader of the pack. They do it a lot better than I do, but that's the gist of it. And consider it like a kind of a barbershop, but a girl group in the 60s. And also, the Ronettes are in the 60s too. Okay, so getting back to Amy's life story. Her grandma was the first one to see her talent or notice her talent. Okay, and also, she was the one who encouraged her to go to New York from London, and also, she was the one who said you should do a beehive on your head, the hairstyle, because she wanted to emulate the Shangri-Las and the Ronettes. Okay? That's the backstory you need to know. So, when it came to doing music, that's what she was trying to do. Copy it, kind of, but make it her own original, But she also wrote her own songs. And she had, I think, for most of her life, honestly. Okay. So, then we have to get to Back to Black because that was her, number one song that made her ultra famous overnight. And just for the record, she won 5 Grammys for that one song. Okay. Also, Rehab was popular too, but Rehab is kind of sad now if you look at it because the lyrics are people tried to get me to go to rehab and I said no, no, no. And my daddy says I'm fine, so I don't have to go to rehab. And so I think I've said this before, and so if I have, I'm sorry. But if someone's telling you need to go to rehab, they're trying to save your life. So, it's not funny. Okay, so Back to Black happened because I think, well, in the film they were going out for 8 months or 9 months, like a while, right? And he breaks up with her. Just breaks up with her. And then he gets back with his old girlfriend. So if you listen to the lyrics of Back to Black, it literally is what happened to her. I'm not it's for real what happened. And so, and then, that's a song that made her ultra famous. So kind of sad and happy at the same time. But then the story gets a little stranger after that because they got married. They got back together. They got married. They ran off to Miami and got married. And I've heard different things. Okay, in the film, she calls her dad and tells him, I got married. Okay, but in real life, I think she called her mother and told her mother they were married. So I don't know. Because also, I think that her and her father were estranged for a while too. So there's just a lot. So then, also, I meant to say that I think that her breakup with Blake and her grandmother's death happened about the same time, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe that's why Back to Black. Okay, and then of course we have to deal with the descending of everything. Where she starts, doing what she did and all that stuff, and just it's sad at a certain point. Well, at a certain point, it's gonna happen, but it's also sad to see all this promise, And in the movie, it looks like in the final scene she's working on another song, but then she goes up to bed, and then it says at the end of the film, that she died. So I always say, and I said, but now that I think about it, if she was working on other music, it'd be kind of like, I don't know. I'd be interested to see what she was working on before she died, like right before, because who knows what could happen, And also, a lot of people, journalists have said that Back to Black, the album, was supposed to be her starting point and not her finish point. So, yeah. And also, I gotta say, I gotta give the actors who played in the film were really, really good. Because I was rooting for her in the beginning, and well, I always root for people, but I was rooting for her in the beginning, and she really did look like Amy Winehouse. I mean, to a T. And I don't know what, according to pictures I've seen of her ex-husband, I think the guy was close to him too. So, but it was a good movie. I really enjoyed it because I got to know little tidbits and stuff I didn't know before. So, I like that. Okay, everybody.